quick summary of it, man. My freshman year, had an amazing year as a team. We were the first 2 seed. So basically, we number 5 in the country going into the NCAA tournament. We probably should have been a 1 seed. We had an amazing year. Finished second or third, second in the league behind Pittsburgh. Amazing year. Ben Hansborough was a player of the year. He was on my team. I got to play against him every single day. That was my awakening to college basketball in general. And he was I didn't know who he was at first, really. I saw him. And then I realized he was really good. Like, really, really good. I remember him busting my ass, looking at Coach Bray like, this is who the fuck y'all brought in? Him? I'm in there like, it's about me. Talk about me. But so you learn quick in that environment. Me going against him every single day, he taught me so much just about watching him work. His work ethic was unreal. Best I've ever seen to this day, honestly. We had a great year though. Great year. Finished, got to the second round of the tournament, round of 32. Lost to a really good Florida State team.
That's when they had all them. That's when they had.
They were really big.
They were really. It was like one of the tallest teams in the country.
Yeah. And then
it's crazy.
Ran into Ian Miller again and bring the story back around.
Your man's. Yep.
Guarding him in that game a few times. So that was. Just losing that game, I thought we were. Honestly, after finishing where we were, I thought we would be. I didn't see no reason why we wouldn't win it all, Final Four at least, different things like that. So that was just like a low point because it's like I had such high hopes for the team.
Okay.
And I didn't know nothing else.
Right.
Like as a freshman,
at that point, yeah, you coming in, that's all you knew.
Okay, this is what I know. This is what we're doing. This is regular. Sophomore year, we lost a lot. We lost a lot, honestly. That team was a lot of seniors. That was a senior-led team. We had a couple guys that go pro. Didn't think we were going to go pro. Early in my sophomore year, our best player, Tim Midas, tore up his knee. And then it kind of jumped me into like a starting role, a captain role. Jaren started starting as well. And it sped up our development.
Jaren
Grant started starting as well that time. And it just sped up our development so quickly. And we honestly turned that year into a great year. We were struggling. And I remember this like it was yesterday. We just lost to Rutgers at Rutgers. I remember my uncle saying to me, he was like, "Man, y'all got a tough road ahead, man. Like it's gonna look. Y'all gotta hang in there. Y'all got Syracuse on Monday. This is when Syracuse was undefeated throughout that year. They were number 1 and undefeated. And I remember talking to him being like, yeah, that was, whew. You know what I mean? This is Deion Waiters when he was a 6th man of the year. Obviously, CJ was playing, Chris Joseph, Scoop Jardine. Yeah. Man, they had a mob. And I remember going into that game like, hey, we're just going to go for it. You know what I mean? Ended up winning that game, won 9 straight games in the Big East from there, turned our season around, ended like 3rd in the league. That year we're playing against Jimmy Butler, that year before Jimmy Butler, but Jay Crowder, DJO, like they had a hell of a team. Marquette teams. But we were beating all these teams though. Yeah. A hell of a year. Pat Constance jumped into the starting lineup around this time. Going into that game, the Syracuse game, that was his first start in the Syracuse game.
Connaughton? Okay.
He got going from there. And the rest is history there. We got to the tournament there. Another low point. Every loss in the tournament is a low point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's the finishing.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But this one hurt. We were playing against Xavier. This is the year Xavier had a big fight with Cincinnati, but they had 2 amazing guards. I said
Tu Holloway and
yep.
I forgot the other cat's name.
He went to Arizona after.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. That's when he was fighting Big Yancey and all of them.
Yep, and man, Mark Lyons.
Okay, yeah.
Mark Lyons and Tu Holloway. 2 great guards. Great guards. And I give them flowers. Give them their flowers any day.
Yeah, 2 still getting buckets right now.
Yeah. And then we had them down though, like with maybe 8 were up 8 with like 2 minutes, something like that. And it just went downhill quickly for us. They came back on us. Had a real bad turnover. I remember like it was yesterday. And I remember going to the line. I still blame Jaren for this. I don't blame him.
You're right. No, I get it. Yeah.
We were down 2. I got fouled with like 30 seconds to go. And I shot the first one and I made it. And on the second one, he ran in from the top of the key. And they caught it off, and like
I'd have been cussing.
But he mentioned he was trying to make a play. He was trying to go there, you know what I mean? Like, sure. And I never was really upset at him about trying to make a play, but upset about
that. Yeah, for sure.
Know what I'm saying? But that was a tough one. Junior year, we come back. We're bringing all these guys back. I'm like, man, we're gonna have a great year. We actually do have a great regular season. Lost to in the first round again. Lost to Iowa State team, a really, really good Iowa State team. Melvin Edgem was on his team.
They made noise in that tournament that year though.
They lost I think the next round, but they lost to Ohio State.
It's like DeAndre Kane or something.
Nah, not that year.
Not that team. Okay.
They did lose in the next round to Ohio State, but they lost to Aaron Craft in the buzzer beater.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that team was really good. I'm going blank on they had another NBA player on that team. Light skinned, big George's Niang.
Okay.
He was a freshman. He was going crazy.
He went to the league after that?
Yeah, not right away. I think he spent one more year. But man, he was going crazy on us that year though. I can tell that he's a pro.
Yeah.
He's a pro. But they put out like their whole lineup was like 6'7". The point guard was from Michigan State, and he transferred there. They had all transfers other than him. Lost that year. That was a tough one again, low point. But we had a lot of great wins that year as well. We had the 5 overtime game. The high of that year is a 5 overtime game at Louisville. That went on and went on and went on and went on. That's the high of that year for sure. My senior year, went through a lot of highs and lows, honestly. Jaren getting kicked out of school that year. And nobody knows this. I started off that year probably really bad. Like the start of that year, I had maybe a 0-point game, maybe a 2-point game. But like, I knew what happened to him with his grades and everything early on.
Yeah.
Like I knew it before it ever came out. So my whole mindset that year was like, especially going into the early times, like I'm gonna get you the ball. So I was not. If you watch film in these early games, I'm not aggressive.
Right.
Like, I shouldn't have done that. But like at the same time, like my mental was really messed up to start that year. Like, dang, I know for a fact I'm losing my guy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm losing who I thought was the best player in the league. And I think he came back and showed it the next year.
Right.
But like, those early games for me were terrible. Terrible. I'm just passing him the ball. I'm like, yo, you go. You do your thing. Do your thing. Like, run up your draft stock as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because that's who I was as a point guard. I'm like, man, like I recognized he was like a pro. And he could be an NBA pro, right? And I was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes for you to get there. And in my mind, I was like, that was that. So that was like a kind of a low period to start that year. But then once he left, I realized that I had to turn it up.
You stepped up.
You know what I mean? And probably the high that year is our game against Duke. It was on CBS, playing against like my best friends.
Your best, yeah.
You know what I mean? Playing against Tyler Thorne, Quinn Cook, Josh Harrison, like Rodney Hood was in this game, Jabari Parker, and we beat them. Again, without Jaren, I had 19 and 11. And honestly, like that's probably the high that year for sure.
Do it against Duke of all people? It has to be.
For sure. And that was the first time that Coach Bray, that was the first time that Coach K lost to a former assistant. So like I felt like, I wanted to get that done for you too.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
We didn't get to the tournament that year, but honestly, in my head, I'm like, I'm a 4-year. In my head, I'm a 4-year. Every single year I got to the tournament.
Yep.
Even though I know we didn't, I know for a fact if Jaren even plays, we lost to majority of our game by 3 points that year.
Yeah.
In the ACC.
Having Jerry.
And man, we can win a few more and get to that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like nobody can tell me. I know I only went 3 times, but I would have been there all 4.
Nah, I feel you.